21 years since my older brother James passed,
Oh,
and he was the one who got me into this because he played football here in our hometown. He used to get the muscle mags. As a kid, I used to love looking at him because I grew up in the era of the '80s. He Man and those cartoon characters out. And just he would have been. I think he would have been 55 this year. And he was my big brother. I know 56, I think, because we're 6 years apart. It's one of his 56th birthday, and I miss him. I mean, I think about him. I miss my mom, my sister Mary. I miss my father. We weren't that close, but you see my father. But it wasn't for those people in my life who molded me to become the man I am. I don't know where I've been. Maybe I've been somebody different, depending. But I love him. I appreciate him. I miss him. I know someday I get to meet him again. Not too soon, but I really owe them a lot, and I owe y'all a lot here, coming here and taking time out here and sitting with me and just shooting the shit as we usually do. This sport is, like I said, this sport is a sport that I really has become a fan of, and I know. Excuse me a second. I'm a little cramped. Take a moment, please. Talk amongst yourself.
adorbs.
Talk about yourself if you like. So but really, what we as fans, athletes, we want to see is more opportunities. Not just for, like I said, I do stuff for the ladies, but also for guys like Keith. You know, y'all should have opportunities too, because y'all take a risk also. And Maria, you take risks when you get into sport, and that's why there should be more people that really stand out and say, you know what, I got something on my chest I gotta say, you know. And I shouldn't have to be worried about what this person's gonna say or this person's gonna do, you know. And this is why I just like a while ago, I was watching this video. I'm gonna pull it up in a bit and I'm gonna share with y'all. This is a lady, her name is Renee Hook. KL sent me her link a while this morning, and I was just popping into her IG, and also she posted something. And this is what really gets me why I do, because people like this deserve to be recognized for what they go through as athletes in the sport. So we'll pull up in a minute, and especially some of y'all who compete, you understand what you go through. This is something that really kind of touches my heart, and we're going to play this for a bit.
Morning. So I just wanted to share some of my thoughts this morning. Like, I do not understand why it is absolutely unacceptable for someone to call an obese person obese, or to even go as far as to say, I'm concerned about your health and your weight, or to say being obese is unhealthy. But it's perfectly fine for people to body shame fit women and skinny women. It's like mind-boggling to me, this double standard. Y'all would be like shocked at the amount of hate comments that I get on all of my social media. So my Instagram had a video that kind of has blown up, and the amount of people that make comments like, that's disgusting, I would never want to look like that, you look like a man, just all kinds of crazy things. And if I turned around and said to the girl who said I would never want to look like that I'm disgusting, if I turned around and said, well, I would never want to look like you again and be fat and obese, I would get canceled. But it's perfectly fine for her to call me and my body disgusting. Now, I am secure in myself. I'm not going to say I don't care. Like, it does bother me. It's hurtful, and they do it on purpose to be hurtful, but it's not hurtful enough to make me hate myself or to change who I am or to dislike this body that I've built, because I've worked hard for it and I love it. I love being a bodybuilder. I love being a muscular woman, and I am secure enough in myself to not let it affect me. But it's just so frustrating that there's this massive double standard between the way we are allowed to talk to skinny women or fit women versus the way we're allowed to talk to obese women. My best friend is naturally extremely thin. Her father's built that way. She's built that way. She has a thyroid condition that causes her to not be able to put on weight. And if she eats too much, she actually loses weight. It's a very delicate balance for her. She is my height. She's 5'6", and she's doing good to be just over 100 pounds. But people say some of the dumbest shit you have ever heard. They're like, "You're so skinny, go eat a cheeseburger." Well, fuck you, bitch. How about you stop eating so many damn cheeseburgers? But no, we can't say that because that would be fat shaming. Somebody please explain this double standard, because it's so unbelievably frustrating. So there's my thoughts. Y'all have a great day.
Well, I would say have a great day to her. I mean, this lady is an amateur fit competitor. Here's a picture here. You know, she also, I believe, she's a mom. She made a transformation from what she was like here to where she is now. I think she competed at the junior nationals some time ago. KL sent me this, her link, and you know, I'm hoping I sent her a request. I hope she responds. I'd love to have her on. You know, we can talk about this. This is why I do what I do, because you know, to give women like Renee the opportunity to share their voice. Gotta careful, you know, YouTube is always jumping on you about, you know, copyright stuff like that. But I think this is why I make myself. This is a purpose for me, to give the opportunities for people like yourself, Maria, and people like Renee and all these other ladies who have a story that might you want to share. So I'm going to put her link in the comment section if you want to check her out, follow her, and also maybe support her. You know, we hope that she's all the best in her future. So here we go. So
to piggyback on what she
mhm.
to piggyback on what she said about the beast. You know, not too long ago, they was kind of like poking fun at Lizzo. They it was like a parody of South Park, and they did something. They did in a clever way where they kind of use like a something with Lizzo, but they made fun of her, but they didn't actually show up. It's still those like weight loss or something like something of with Lizzo, and they was talking about it. So I mean, there's some people that do kind of make fun of making fun of it, having an issue with like with the standard of idolizing obese people, if I can say that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. We
It's
have
um
her.
Forget what
it's
she
it's
said.
fascinating to listen to her because it happens all the time to a lot of us muscular ladies that they call us name. You look like a dude. You look like sometimes with my friend. She was away with her son, and the lady already know that she's a mom, but the lady still call her sir.
Remember, Tina talked about that last week. Remember,
Yeah, yeah. Can you talk about that?
and
Because
she and she and she deals with it a lot. And she's absolutely right. I remember Chris Shashelsky telling me a story when she was getting ready for the Olympian. She was walking through a grocery store, and she was, when we as competitors we get sucked down, and somebody's like, she looks like an AIDS patient, a victim, but yet this person's overweight. But yet we as competitors can't body shame somebody who's overweight, but it's okay for them to talk shit on us, as men or women, because some people don't like muscular men. They think it's disgusting. The way we look are disgusting. So I can't even imagine how a woman feels. Well, I can because I hear the stories from Tina all the time. Of how a woman feels. So it's one of those things. It's like explain that. Explain it. If I don't. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, if you're happy within your skin, if you're overweight and you want to eat fucking a million donuts, knock yourself out. That's your life. But we live in such a society where everybody's so judgmental, where
Yeah.
live your best life. If that's what you want to do, live your best life. But don't talk shit on her or any other female or any other male or person in this world because they choose to be in shape. It's called a fucking gym membership. Anybody can go, but it takes a certain kind of discipline. Here's a prime example. I had a girl at the gym today who I've asked, I think Lori and I asked some other women, I said, how many women hip thrust over 315 pounds? And I think Lori said, I never do. And so this girl was at the gym today. Me being a 15-year IFBB pro was like, I was on this podcast about being my boy host every Monday, and these are the girls who walk around the gym who give Tina dirty looks, because they're trying to get in shape. And I don't understand. I'm like, how do you give an IFBB pro a dirty look at the gym when you're sitting here trying to compete, trying to get to that level, but want to give her a dirty look? Wouldn't you be more apt to ask her questions of how she got there versus giving her a shitty ass look? And maybe women are different than guys. Maria, you can probably answer this question because it seems like women are more catty than men when it comes to this. I have guys come up to me and ask me questions all the time. Women look at other women and just give each other dirty fucking looks because they don't look that way. But if you're trying to get that way, and that we have a couple pros that train out of our gym, don't you think it would be apt for you to go up to that person and be like, wow, what did it take for you to get to where you're at? I don't understand that.
Yeah. I have a lot more men. Actually, a lot of my gym bros were always saying to me, uh, I want to look like you, Maria. You're fucking jacked. And I was just like, yeah, you'll get there. But not too many women will come up to me and,
Yeah.
give me a compliment like that. They always look at me like I'm sort of like, ugh, what did she do to herself? Kind of look like that, it's and also when I'm out with some of my friends, I stand out. I'm big, I'm short. I'm 4'8", but I'm jacked. And sometimes I kind of forget how big I am, surrounded by my girlfriends, and they're all feminine and look they like glutes and stuff. But a lot of my girlfriends that doesn't have like Jack like me, they protects me from these ladies that they don't understand how hard it is. It took me freaking 10 years to get to this,
Well, and
and
the funny thing is that she says that because all of Tina's friends are bigger women, and they're the coolest people on the face of the earth. They're bigger women. They don't go to the gym. They don't work out, but they support her like crazy. They go to every one of her shows. They travel in flocks with her, and they're not gym people whatsoever. So I don't understand how you can go into a gym, work out at a gym, see somebody like Maria or Tina or any female that's in shape, and not be intrigued to ask them the question of how you got there. It's amazing to me. And maybe it's
Well,
an intimidation thing. Maybe they're intimidated, you know. But I got told one of my clients today, I said, I've trained with Hani, I've trained with George, I've trained with George Farah, I trained with some of the best trainers in the world. The smartest person in the room is going to ask the most questions, no matter who that person is, because knowledge is power at the end of the day. And I just don't understand why. And that's great that you brought that up, George, because that just happened today where Tina was pissed off as hell at the gym today. She's like, she'll speak to a male, just like Maria said. They'll speak to a male, but they won't speak to a female. Why is that?
I got one word for it, and that's something that I've heard because I've encountered people who've posted videos like that over the years. It comes down to one word: jealousy.
Yeah.
jealousy. Because the reason, especially from what I've seen, I mean, this is just what I have heard other women comment on, is that if you've worked hard, because everybody knows you have to work hard to get to look like Maria. They don't want to admit it publicly, but that's when they see that, it's like, oh, well, she's like this. They're jealous as fuck.
Yeah.
They don't want to have to do work how hard Maria has. If
Yep.
they had any idea what her training and dietary regimen was, because here's my overall philosophy about humanity: we're lazy.
Yep.
Humanity is by default lazy in everything. We want the maximum benefit with the minimum of effort and maximum comfort of absolutely everything that we do. And the same thing applies to intellectual laziness, is that it's so much easier to just be jealous of someone like Maria than to actually get the gumption to go up to talk to her and say, hey, how do I look like you? What do I do? What do I have to do? And because and the other thing is that the other thing I would say to this woman is something that I said to Isabel Terrell one time, because I've met her like 3 or 4 times at shows, because she and I for a while lived in the same state, and she got upset. She was upset for the same reason. It's like somebody came up to her, gave her shit and such like that. I'll tell this woman, I'll tell any woman, the same thing that I told her. As long as you look like this, that will always be there. You will never, ever be free of it. So you have to find some way to cope with it. Because the reason being, here's the part that they don't want to admit: the majority are now obese.
Yes.
The majority of the population is now obese, and so is not fit. They're obese. So that's why they get away with it. It's because majority, they're all over. Like, I'm in the same situation. I'm not gonna lie. It's like the majority in the same situation. But the thing is, the majority gets away with ribbing the minority. They always do, because they're the majority. That's why they get the backlash. That's why the double standard. It's because the people who are in charge, the people who've got the power, they're the ones who are always feel that they have the right to go ahead and do that. But then when there's any backlash, oh, well, who are you to do that? So I would just simply say to this lady, I'd say to this to any woman, long as you choose to be muscular in a society where the majority are obese, you're going to be treated this way. So it's never going to go away. It's never going to go away. So you have to find a way to deal. Because if you don't find that, it's going to drive you crazy.
Like I told Tina today, I said there's a reason why your Wolfpack bag that they give you from the World Championships, I says World Championships and IFBB Pro, and that's all you need to say. You don't need to give, it's like they, and I said, and those people will never ever get to Maria's level. They will never get to Tina's level. They will never get to these people. I mean, even people look at me, and the first thing they say, oh, well, I could look like that if I did a bunch of steroids. I go, here's the fucking thing. Here's the reality of it all. If everybody could take a fucking shot and take a pill, then whoever created this shit would be a fucking multi-billionaire. It's more than that. It's a discipline. It's getting your ass to the gym. It's the cardio. It's the food that you don't want to eat when you don't want to eat it. It's getting up at fucking 5 a.m. and doing the cardio. It's a whole bunch of other entities, which is artists' right, that they don't want to do and make excuses. And again, it's not for everybody. It's just it's what we do. Let's be honest. Maria does, and what I do, and what Tina does, and what a whole bunch of other computer people do. It's the definition of insanity. We go on stage. We get on stage for about 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes. Do you understand how hard we have to train for those 5 minutes to get on stage? A long fucking time. Between the cardio, I've walked the Great Wall of China. I don't know how many damn times doing cardio. I said, along with the food I don't want to eat, along with the exercises sometimes I don't want to do, that people don't understand. And at the end of the day, I can't help that your mentality is, and again, at the end of the day, I don't care. If you don't want to look like me, that's fine. But this girl in particular today was like, well, isn't everybody a bodybuilder? I said, no, not everybody's a bodybuilder. I think Maria's women's physique. Is that what you are, Maria?
Yeah.
Women's physique. You have wellness, you have figure, you have bikini, you have your classification of who you are. Not everybody's a goddamn bodybuilder. I said, and we've had this conversation multiple times. Why doesn't women's physique, some of these women physique girls, want to not go over to bodybuilding like Ashley did? Because, oh, I want to look pretty. Well, here's the thing. Our best bodybuilder in the world is a beautiful black woman. So you're telling me she's not pretty? Is that what you're telling me? Is that she's not pretty? George, your girlfriend, she's not pretty? She look
She's
like a man?
beautiful. No, I
So
don't see
when they
nothing
when,
managed about
when
her.
and when they say that, it's funny because again, like Art said, the jealousy thing kicks into effect. But if I'm a person and I am trying to do something in this sport, I am going to go to that person. That's why I've trained with Flex. That's why I trained with Brother Stan and Charles and all the other guys I've mentioned. Because in order to be the best competitor that I can possibly be, I have to surround myself by the most knowledgeable people in the industry to get to where I need to be. Bottom line at the end of the day.
Hmm.
And so I feel bad that our society is in such a place where women can't. Art, we talked about you last week, right? You know, finally coming to your family. It's like it's not for everybody. We get that. It's not for everybody. But again, if you break it down like Art said last week and says, "Do you understand how hard it is to do this shit? Natural or not natural? It's hard to do it."
And
And that's what people need to understand.
yeah, the problem is, and I keep hammering this point home because it's the fucking truth, and it's who are their mentality of society. Who's it shaped by? Who's it shaped by?
Media,
The media,
mass media.
the
Yeah.
mass media,
Kale,
and
Kale, you about to say something?
every time it's negative, and that's why when those, especially with Maria, when they get the dirty looks like that, that's what they're thinking about. That's what they've been basically programmed to do.
Yeah.
So that's
Kale, you
why I
about to
say
say?
as long as that doesn't change, it's not going to.
Yeah. Kale, you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was. That's what I was trying to say. What Art was saying that as long as these women look like that, it's gonna happen. People gonna make fun of them. That's the adversity that they got to deal with. Everybody deals with some type of adversity.